Welcome again to Unity South Twin Cities, and may each of you find the truth that you seek, and may the infinite healing presence fill your hearts with love, beauty, and joy. We welcome you, we bless you, we behold the Christ in you. On this cold winter morning, let's all stand and sing and bring some warmth and energy into our sanctuary this morning. Even those online, let's make it happen.
This is under the tune of Like a Road Go to Shore.
Now that we've got it, let's do it one more time. Let's go.
Whole song?
One more time.
One more time. Here we go. 1, 2. Wash our earth with healing light. Make it happen. Let our wisdom guide our sight. Make it happen. Shine the light inside your heart. See it happen. Share its beauty. Make a start. Make it happen. Let grace flower across the land. Make it happen. Stretch forever from hand to hand. Make it happen. Time has come for love to lead. Hallelujah. On the dreams that bears a seed. Hallelujah.
Please be seated. That's what I call the Unity South Twin Cities Ensemble. Glad you're with us this morning. It's really exciting to be with you this morning, and welcome again to Unity South Twin Cities. And I'm so happy that you're with our gathering this morning. For those of you who are watching online or Facebook, please enter your name and location in the chat stream and click share. We want to make sure that all of your network, your downline, they're involved in this happening, this experience here this morning. For those of you in the sanctuary, please silence your phones and other devices. We've got a great team making this happen this morning, as a song just shared with us. We've got the great Jimmy here today, his family. It's just a wonderful ensemble of people, technicians, all coming together in honor of this service to give us the highest experience that we can have together. I know it's not normally what we do at this point, but how about if we give the entire tech team, the musicians, everyone a big round of applause. It's my honor this morning to stand in for the Reverend Stacy. No one can do that, but I'll do it the way that Gerald Evans can do it. Let's open in prayer, if you don't mind. Wherever we are this morning, let's settle in by taking a deep breath. As we breathe in, know that we're taking in all that there is. And as we gently exhale, we know that we are one with the infinite and literally breathing life into this world. How great is the spirit of the infinite. It encompasses all there is. Our will is God's will. There is no separation. in the unity of spirit. This morning, our prayer of unity is to give us what we need to be whole and complete this day. As we expand this view, we open our hearts with compassion to circumstances, to people, and things that on the surface appear to separate us from God's love and inspiration. Like Jabez, our prayer is to keep us from pain and to heal that which needs to be healed, that which needs to be soothed. And for all needing some type of deliverance today, we see that happening right now. We affirmatively pray for this ministry, its congregation, its senior minister who is ministering to others in St. Louis this morning, and we are praying for all the lives that we potentially can touch. We see this as being so, and we have the faith knowing that everything works out well. And as we say together, there is but one presence and one power in my life, in this church, and in the universe, God, the omnipotent good. It's really interesting how things have a way of working out together. In your programs, you'll notice that Carlotta Posz is in the program. There are a lot of people in the program who are not here this morning, but it is so amazing that Unity South has stepped up to help us in this regard. I was trying everything that I could to keep one person from being your service assistant this morning, and then that individual finally said, well, look, here I am, send me. It's with great pleasure and a lot of humility that I bring my wife, Francine Evans, to be your service assistant this morning.
Good morning. I guess that's what happens when your husband is the coordinator for the service assistants. And he's given the talk today, so here I am. Good morning, Unity South. It's happy to be here. Let's welcome our visitors first. Joining us either in person here in the sanctuary or online, please turn toward the cameras in the back of the sanctuary and wave. Greet them by affirming together, we welcome you, we bless you, and we're glad you're with us today. Let's all do that together. We welcome you, we bless you, and we're glad you're with us today. For everyone who is here, we hold this thought: I behold the Christ in you. Let's speak it together. I behold the Christ in you. Take a moment to look around the sanctuary and behold the Christ Spirit in each and every one of us. Now let's use our imagination to acknowledge the same Christ Spirit in all of our friends joining us online. As we gather today at Unity South, it expands our hearts to acknowledge all faith traditions around the world and their traditions. Let us respect seekers everywhere who turn their attention toward the source of all. We offer this blessing for all religious communities. We honor and respect your spiritual practice. And let's all say that together. We acknowledge and respect your spiritual practice. Now, returning our focus to our ministry, we join in the Unity South centering statement with focused thought and warmth of feeling. Let's say that together. Centered in God, assured by faith, and prospered by divine love, we boldly move forward to serve humanity by building our lives and Unity South Church together. As Gerald mentioned earlier, Reverend Stacy is blessing the Unity South Church in St. Louis this morning by delivering their message. And then next Sunday, January 30th, Reverend Stacy will return and he'll present his lesson, Intention, Attention, and then Invention. We may think our hopes and dreams have enough magical power to create the good we long for. However, We should start at the beginning with our life intentions and our focused attention, and then we can invent and manifest for good. Our musicians next week will be Judy Moen and Claire Van de Kramert. They'll gift us with their music, and Nancy Lee will be your service assistant. And now let us prepare for a time of community prayer as I read today's daily word for January 23rd, 2022. Pray for others. I am praying for you. Just hearing the words, I am praying for you, helps me relax into the calm strength of a trusted friend's faith. Reassured, I feel my own faith growing stronger. My friend may be next to me or calling from far away. The power of prayer is undiminished by distance. Grateful for the gift of others' prayers for me, I welcome every opportunity to pray for anyone who asks. Having heard the prayer needed, I let go of concern. In faith, I behold the Christ presence within the one for whom I pray. Knowing the truth of another's wholeness, I release any thought of illness. I affirm divine wisdom guiding important decisions and divine strength relieving any weakness. I feel the warmth of God's love bringing peace and restoring hope for those I hold in prayer. We always give thanks to God for all of you and mention you in our prayers. And that's from the 1 Thessalonians, 1st chapter, 2nd verse. Let us just take a moment and contemplate, I am praying for you. Pray for others. And so it is.
And now we welcome Yvette Trotman, who will lead us further into our service this morning.
Good morning, Unity South. And good morning to our online guests. As we continue in prayer, let us prepare our minds and hearts for the power of prayer and acknowledge the value and power of praying together as we elevate our thoughts to match divine mind and its infinite possibilities. As we prepare to receive God's presence this morning, I invite us all to quiet our thoughts, still our body in that comfortable manner of your choosing. You may close your eyes or soften your gaze. Focus your attention on the breath as we use our breathing to help to center us this morning and remove any distractions. Let us take a deep cleansing breath and release. Silent Unity's affirmation for today is open-hearted and open-minded. I promote peace. I live in peace with all people. Truly and unselfishly, I love my neighbor as myself. Willing to listen, learn, and understand others, I keep my heart and mind open. I seek solutions that unite us. I forge partnerships that strengthen us. I promote peace in this moment of silence. Today, I embrace the peace and serenity within me and around me. I envision a world at peace, a peace that unites all people. In the words of the Apostle Paul, let all that you do be done in love. As instruments of love, let us truly and unselfishly love our neighbor as ourselves and create a peaceful environment. We know that true peace begins in the hearts and minds of individuals like us who hold to a vision of God's love and God's peace as we are willing to make a difference as ambassadors of peace. In our listening, our learning, and in our understanding of each other, let us radiate love and goodwill to strengthen each and every one of us. Father, Mother God, we know that all people originate from the same divine source. Acknowledging that we are faced with divisions that polarize us, we know that we can all do our part of creating a peaceful alternative to live together in peace right here, right now. Let us begin by sowing seeds of peace through our prayers, through our conversations and actions with each other, with every person of every faith, tradition, lifestyle, and nationality, as they are a child of God. As we look into the faces of our spiritual brothers and sisters, let us see the light of God in every face. For blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. We pray as we do every week for the prayer requests Unity South has received. We behold and affirm the truth within these individuals. We know that Spirit is working in their lives as they further awaken to the presence of God as their health, supply, and sense of purpose. In the quiet of this moment, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with you, and let it begin with me in the silence. Guide us to be poised and ready and receptive to receive the blessing and feel the truth expressed as we sing the Lord's Prayer together. is Don Rolofson, and he will be available after the services. Thank you.
What a joy it is to be here this morning. I want to bring a song that comes from that great old story of Paul and Silas bound in jail. And you know, they were traveling and spreading the good news, and they got thrown in jail for making good trouble. And they were praying out loud at midnight, singing out loud at midnight. And the line that caught my eye when I read it this time was, it said, the earth shook and everybody's chains came off and everybody's doors swung open. So there's something about releasing ourselves or being released that unconsciously helps those around us. So that's where this song comes from. And it does mention Dr. King, the greatest leader this country has known, at the end of Dr. King week in the second verse. So that's in there too. It's great to have Jimmy and Kenny here with me.
And everybody's chains came off. All the prison doors were swung open. Everybody's chains came off. All the prison doors swung open. We marched from Selma to Montgomery. So sing that. We marched from Selma to Montgomery. We laid down our lives in Memphis. We laid down our lives in Memphis. And everybody's chains came off. All the prison doors swung open. And everybody's chains came off. Come on. All the prison doors swung open.
All right, we're going to go on a little tour. A tour of the jail. Even the shy one in the corner, even the mean one in the dark, even the one twisted with hatred, even the ones with angry marks, even the ones who broke the rules, even the crazy ones with hair, even the wealthy and the thieves and the liars, even the ones who don't seem to care. Well, it feels so good to be free again. Come on, feels so good to be free again. Say it. Feels so good to be free again. 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 Oh, everybody's chains came off. All the prison doors swung open again. Everybody's chains came off. All the prison doors swung open 4 times. Feels so good to be free again. Feels so good to be free again. Feels so good to be free again. Feels so good to be free again.
It's okay to give them another round of applause. Wow. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words have never hurt me. You ever heard that before? When I was growing up, it's the truth. When I was growing up, it was almost like a taunt when we were kids. Sticks and stones break my bones, but words have never hurt me. But when you think about that, sticks, stones, bricks, those things hurt. You know, in retrospect, I think that maybe the words can hurt at times. And we'll talk about that in just a second. Say this with me, please. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And speaking about those kids, they could say, and you probably were, how many were kids? Kids can say some difficult things. And some of the things that I heard some of my classmates and playmates say still stick with me today. And to add validity to that point about the power of words, think about the guidance that we received from our parents, those who cared for us as we were growing up over time. And I think that they meant well, like don't talk to strangers. We talk to people that I've never even met today, but don't talk to strangers. Always say your prayers at night before you go to bed. Look both ways before you cross the street. Now that's a pretty good one today. You get the idea. There was a time that my brother and I lived with our grandparents. And looking back, my grandfather wasn't a man of a lot of words, but when he spoke, you really started to pay attention. On a few occasions, he had the task that I'm sure that he really didn't care for. That was watching my brother and I as we were growing up, as my grandmother and my mother would go to the market or whatever they were going to do. And so as kids do, we would just have a good time. We're just playing, just having a great time. And it seems that we were always making noise, according to him anyway. We were making noise. Hey, shut up, all that noise. Pipe down. I didn't think we were making noise, but he would tell us that we were. And he said, if you don't stop making all that noise, I'm going to half kill you. That's half kill? What's that? That got my attention because I had no idea, Don, what half killed meant, and I didn't want any part of it. So, like the good kids we were, we quieted down so we could keep the other half of our lives. Until, of course, we started making noise again. Francine and I hadn't been involved with Unity that long by the time that we moved to Dallas, Texas. And we were attending one of the biggest churches in the country, Unity of Dallas, where the Reverend Donald Curtis was the senior minister. He was physically and publicly a really, really big man, and he was a really famous Shakespearean speaker, but he also had the role in the Ten Commandments, a Cecil B. DeMille's production. How many of you have seen the Ten Commandments? His big line in that production was, "A raging chariot knows no ranks." If you know what that means, let me know. Nobody responded to him in the movie. It was like, and then they went back to what they were doing. But it was his line, and he shared that in every other talk that he gave to us at Unity. He was a celebrity minister, and he gave wonderful talks. He had written several books and even appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Somebody say, ooh. He appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show at the suggestion of Dr. Ernest Holmes. Francine and I wanted to become formal members of the church, but we had no direct connection with the pastor at that time. So we were looking to establish a bit more rapport with him. We wanted to get to know him a little bit better, and we wanted to understand more about him than what we were hearing from the platform each Sunday. His lessons resonated with us, and we wanted to get a better sense of whether or not he was actually walking the talk that he was sharing with us each Sunday. So we requested, we got the meeting, and it took place in the intimacy of the main hallway of the church, right after service. Francine shared with him that she just wanted to get to know him a little bit better. And she says, well, who are you? Dr. Curtis, all 6'5" of him, says, what you see is what you get. And he turned and walked away. You know what? It was a head-scratching moment, but it made a lot of sense over time in context of what I want to share with you this morning. The bottom line is that our words have power. And just like last week when Reverend Stacy was standing here, he says words have creative power. And that's the reason why we have things that help us, tools like the Holy Bible as a prescriptive way to live our lives. It gives example after example of how ordinary people, just like us, navigated through the ups and downs of their lives, which were not all that different from the circumstances in which we find ourselves today. That understanding was something that Francine and I took away not only from that meeting, but from a class that we took with Don and Sharon Wallison this past fall. We also learned that many of the answers to life issues and opportunities lie in the focused demands or requests that we make on spirit and our correspondence to spirits. How many of us think about corresponding with spirit? The words we say, the thoughts we think have tremendous power. And like a GPS system, they give us meaningful direction in our lives. Some of you who were with me when we were at Unity of Woodbury, there was a gentleman by the name of Pete Anderson. He gave a talk and it was entitled The GPS System, the God Positioning System. The foundation supporting this premise is that our power depends on faith as well as our understanding of it. Now, I can hear you saying already, well, faith, that kind of leaves me out because I don't have that much faith. But there's hope, because the scriptures say that we need only have faith the size of a mustard seed, and we can harness the power that can move mountains. We can harness that power when we take into stock by the things that we say and how we say them, not only to ourselves, but we know that the words we say can have impact on others as well. I like baseball. How many of you like baseball? There was an exciting game that had come down to the bottom of the ninth inning. 3-2 count, bottom of the ninth. The capacity crowd was standing and cheering as the pitcher waved off sign after sign. And you know how they stand with their hand behind the back and they're looking in. Nope. And then finally he got the pitch that he wanted. The crowd was standing and cheering. Come on, you know how we do it. They were just going nuts. The bases were loaded. If he walked the batter, the winning run would come across the plate, game over. The pitcher, with that determined look in his face, leaned back, and he fired that ball across the plate. A ball would win. The hometown was crying, ball! ball, ball, ball. The opposing team was going, strike, strike. You can imagine how 70,000 people were making all this noise in this stadium. The home plate umpire, dressed in complete black with a big chest protector. All this chaos going, and he leaned up, took the mask off, and he says, "It ain't nothing till I call it." What are you calling situations that happen in your life today? The scriptures say, count it all joy. Somebody say joy. Take a moment and think about what you've prayed for and what you've received over time. In Matthew, it reads, to each according to his own ability. How we show up in life is related to how we see ourselves and the measure of confidence that we have in faith. And that's good news. What you are is good enough. We can change the narrative of our lives by the words we say, how we think, and how we conduct ourselves. As a matter of fact, in the Bible, Paul says you can be changed, Don, by the renewing of your mind. By now you know that I'm a Paul fan. Somehow Paul seems to get into every one of the talks that I do, no matter how infrequently. But by our own words, according to our own perception of our lives and our circumstances, we can become transformed. Consider what God has given us. God has given us life. I am life. I am living in this world. I am the mind of God. I am and I have. And think about what we say, not just to others, but what we say to ourselves. In one of Marlene Qualley's favorite books is entitled God is the Answer. It reads, we can complain, I'm tired. When we say that, we are actually denying and burying the elixir of life and joy, which is the gift from our Creator. The book goes on to say that when you say, I am afraid, or I can't, we're suppressing the virtual germ of our fearlessness. That's in the book, God is the Answer. On the other hand, Jeremy, it says, using this example, that when we say, think, or demonstrate that I am well or I am healed, we have started the process of realizing the best of what Spirit has for us. How many of you would like to have the best of what Spirit has? Somebody say yes. I think we can. In fact, I know we can. There are many of us right now who have the talents and abilities undiscovered, like love, like patience, like trust, like gratitude, diligence, cooperation, happiness. There was someone who wrote, you might be able to help me, that says that we are about as happy as we make up our minds, according to Paul, as we make up our minds to be. In my opinion, there's nothing like the thrill of realizing God's inner strength and the subsequent discovery that we have it already, and all we have to do is call it forth. The very first Unity minister that I studied under, Reverend Helen Saunders, I was asking her, well, how do you have faith? How do you make it through life's difficulties? And she said, Gerald, all you have to do is to call it forth. Spirit has already given you everything that you need. I discovered that I had the power to forgive. As a result, I've become a more forgiving person. Let me give you an example. Years ago, just after Francine and I moved to the Twin Cities for the very first time. We moved here in 1994. And then we left and we came back. But anyway, I was working for an individual. I was trying to continue my craft in the radio broadcast business. And we found this radio station situated in North Minneapolis. And I called, and the individual said, "Come on over. I'll give you an opportunity, and you can work with us. You can practice your craft, and it would be a wonderful thing." I was excited. I mean, how wouldn't you be excited if somebody said, "Come on over, we'll help you"? I was ecstatic. And as soon as I got there, the tables turned. Life was upside down. And I thought, how cruel of an individual to lure me in like a fish on a rod, only to fillet me and tear me apart. But over time, I made the conscious decision to forgive him and to forgive me, even though it caused me to lose a great opportunity. Admittedly, it took a little longer for me to forgive him. Why? Because I allowed myself to feel the hurt. I allowed myself to feel as if I'd been taken advantage of. I was doing the poor little old me dance. Oh, he hurt me, so I'm going to figure out a way to get back. That's the POLM. PLOM, poor little old me. Many of us do that dance from time to time, and we don't even know it. But think about this. As soon as I'd made that declaration that I wanted to forgive both of us, forgiving myself and him, now we're growing to be better people because of that discovered power of the words, "I am forgiving." It was a wonderful thing. It was a wonderful thing to lose out on that opportunity back then. Why? I don't think I'd be standing with you this morning had it not been for that cruelty shared with me, giving me the opportunity to figure out a way to be a forgiving individual. I am an individual who forgives. There's power in our words. We become what we think about and say all day long. It's amazing how it's so easy to engage in the worst part of who we are. I think the reason we do that is because it takes no effort to talk about or think about the worst or the worst things that could ever happen to us, because there's no skin in the game when we engage in thoughts that are less than our best. But as soon as we take that higher road, as soon as we go to a higher level, we begin to see the possibilities as well as the seeming obstacles. Taking that higher road, we begin to see the roadblocks. And we also see the corresponding way around those difficulties. This kind of thinking, this kind of praying is a way to ask Spirit to clear a pathway for us. There's a famous affirmation that is printed on Unity coin boxes, and Yvette, I don't know if they still publish the boxes these days. There were these little coin boxes, and they had affirmations printed on all sides. And one of the most famous, or the one that spoke to me most often, is because Bob and Ruth Vertour always said it each Sunday. It says, "I have faith in God to make a way when it seems as if there is no way." I have faith in God to make a way when it seems as if there is no way. That's so much power. It's wonderful when we can talk words of praise like that and possibilities to ourselves, thereby transforming ourselves into the great I am. This kind of thinking leads me to think about Ralph Waldo Emerson when he declared, "Hit your wagon to a star, take your seat, and there you are." I've heard that for years, and not until I was preparing this idea, these suggestions for you this morning, that I really understood what he was talking about. Ralph was saying, hit your wagon to a star. In this case, the star is that Spirit of God, the great I am. Wouldn't it be wonderful is if we already knew every moment of the day that if we hitch our wagon to the Spirit that sustains each one of us on a daily basis, that we too can become just like the Spirit of God. We become that I am. Would you like to have that? Guess what? You already do. We can live the life of the great I am by getting an awareness of thought and hitching our wagon. But how do you make that happen? Well, Tim, for a single day, take note of the thoughts that are bouncing around in your head. Don't make a judgment about it. Just merely observe the thought. Notice any negative patterns, what past experiences are playing on a loop inside your head. That cruel thing that happened to me with the guy who gave me the opportunity. Notice any false beliefs that pop up. What worries, what fears show up. I'm so tired. I'm a nerd. I'm fat. Whatever it is. But also think about the opportunities, those words of praise, those words of thanksgiving that show up during this introspection. By taking time to take stock of where we are, and this is a radio term, in our mental playlist, we can get a better understanding of where our current reality may be coming from, thus allowing us to make meaningful change. How many of you would like to have meaningful change in your life? When we use the powerful statement, I am, the universe rises to grant us whatever we wish behind those magical biblical words. That's why taking inventory and receiving and reviewing how we're using these words in our minds helps us to better understand the words that we've created, the world that we've created with our words. We can change our lives by creating powerful affirmations that'll reach into our subconscious and help us to shift our beliefs. It's interesting. I'd never heard about the power of affirmation or even the word affirmation until I became a part of Unity. And now we're seeing scientists, we're seeing great thought leaders take the words affirmation and now they're calling it mindfulness. Have you heard people talk about mindfulness? They were affirmations, ladies and gentlemen. Our minds are powerful, and I believe that we're just starting to realize how much power that we've had all along. You know, I mentioned Paul earlier, Russell, who said we can change when we change our thinking. My question this morning for all of us is simply this: are you willing to become that great I am this morning? That was a question. Okay, I'm no doctor, but I'm going to play one just for a few seconds. I'll play the role. Here's my prescription. Start with the two words that God shared with Moses at the burning bush when he says, I am that I am. Hit your wagon to that I am. Think in the present tense, and right now, write and think in terms of right now. There's a song that we sing a lot here in Unity. It says, we are free, we are unlimited. When? Right now. The idea is that as you read or say or think the words I am as a part of your daily affirmations, your daily thoughts to yourselves as you go about your day, that you're automatically envisioning the outcome in your mind without you having to do too much more than that. This is how our lives become a constant prayer, by invoking the words I am. Let me help you this morning. Allow me to speak the words for your life right now to help you to start on that path of a changed life. I am healthy. I am beautiful. I am comfortable in my own skin. I am filled with light and understanding. I am love. I am abundant. I am surrounded by supportive and loving people. I am wealthy. I am successful. I am living my purpose. I am changing the world. I am full of joy. I am full of peace. I am having an amazing day. I am warm on a sub-zero today. I am that I am. As we close this morning, remember we're creating the life that we want. Dream big. Why? Because the desires in our hearts are there for a reason. They are looking to find a home in us. As we follow this pathway, we come to understand that sticks and stones may break our bones, and our words will empower us. And unlike my grandfather, rather than being half killed, you're fully alive, well, and living in the now moment. And like Donald Curtis from the 10 Commandments, what you see is who I am. And just like the umpire in the baseball game, you can declare it because it's nothing until you call it. And like the wonderful Marlene Qualley, you can say, God is the answer. And as you continue realizing the great I am, you can claim, just as it does on the Unity prayer box, that I have faith in God to make a way when to the human sense, there is no way. And finally, you can declare like Paul, who says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Quietly now, as we consider the power of the words I am, that everything that follows those two words can have radical, positive change in our lives. Let us take these words and these ideas into our lives today for meaningful change in our lives. And so it is. Have a great morning. And now let's have more music with, I'm going to call it the Jimmy Ensemble.
Evans.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I'm going to try to change the first line of this song, second line of this song, to I am instead of what it is. Let's listen for it.
A little more, Adam.
Thanks for that. Well, my mama and my papa taught me one thing: to build a golden city. They showed me the fount where the I am springs, to build a golden city. Oh, let's build, let's build, let's build, let's build. Let's build a city where the hills of my heart meet the hills of yours. We'll build a golden city. Where hope is a hammer and a love is a nail, we'll build a golden city. In the mosque, in the temple, in the church, in the jail, we'll build a golden city. Oh, let's build, let's build, let's build, let's build. I'll build a golden city where the hills of my heart meet the hills of yours. We'll build a golden city. So rise up, dry bones, to build a golden city. No, we can't do this thing alone, to build a golden city. Oh, let's build, let's build, let's build, let's build. I'll build a golden city where the hills of my heart meet the hills of yours. We'll build a golden city. And we'll carve these words on the tavern door, build a golden city. We will never make our peace with war, build a golden city. Oh, let's build, let's build, let's build, let's build. Build a golden city where the hills of my heart meet the hills of yours. Build a golden city. Going to see. And brick by brick, stone by stone, little by little we find ourselves at home. Brick by brick, stone by stone, little by little we find ourselves at home. Let's do that again. Brick by brick, stone by stone, little by little we find ourselves at home. Yeah. One more time. Well, brick by brick, stone by stone, little by little we find ourselves at home. Like the blind man who began to shout, build a golden city. I will not be shamed as I reach out to build a golden city. Oh, let's build, let's build, let's build, let's build. I'll build a golden city where the hills of my heart meet the hills of yours. We'll build a golden city. Oh, let's build, let's build, let's build, let's build. We'll build a golden city where the hills of my heart meet the hills of yours. We'll build a golden city.
What's your first name?
Timothy.
Timothy? Thank you so much. Timothy's got a lot of enthusiasm. Thanks, Jimmy. Well, now it's time to bless our gifts. We're grateful for all the gifts sent by mail or given online or received in the sanctuary. Together, they help to keep this ministry energized to complete its important mission, so that all who turn to Unity South will be embraced, loved, and empowered by our collective consciousness. So please hold your gift in hand or in mind, for this is our sacred offering as we affirm together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all the good that I am and have, all the good that I give and receive. And I am grateful. Those in the sanctuary may leave their offerings in the container at the door. And Gerald, you have a few final words? Okay.
Thank you, Francine. Didn't she do a great job? I am a wonderful husband.
We'll just go with that.
I had to say it. I do want to share with you that it is heartwarming to see so many families represented here this morning. It gives strength, it gives encouragement to see you in these pews, to know that you're online, to be a part of this assemble, to help share the message that I hope can change lives over time. It means so much to be with you today. Let's share our prayer for protection. Let's stand and say it together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you to all the folks joining us online. And Jimmy, let's do it one more time.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Anybody wants to come up and rip? When in doubt and darkness, I'm gonna let it shine. When in doubt and darkness, I'm gonna let it shine. When in doubt and darkness, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it. All right, we're gonna break it down. Let's break it down right here. Here we go. On the 2 and the 4, here we go. All right, we're going to change the words. We're going to go, this big light of mine. We're going to let it shine. Joe, you ready to rip one? Here we go. Rip a verse. This big light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This big light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This big light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time, here we go. This big light of mine, come on, Kenny. I'm gonna let it shine. This big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Have a great week, everybody. Have a great week.